want to learn about flights.
Steve, do you want to die?
Uh-oh, Steve.
Stop interrupting me, please.
I don't. I was yelling at a stupid webpage.
I did not wake up from a literally 2 weeks of build up nap to make sure this got run to not run it.
No,
So-
I was yelling at a page because it opened up.
You're
after
yelling
me,
at
and then
me
I wanted
right
to go on
now.
it, but I was
Yeah.
like, hell no.
So,
Not
hey,
now.
Steve.
Now is not the time.
Hey, Steve. Instead of keeping responding, now,
I'm gonna-
last we left off, this bunch of morons,
That's fair.
one of whom keeps talking after I ask them not to, because they don't mute themselves when they're talking to the other thing they're not focusing D&D on. I know I was late, but I'm here now. Pay attention. Trust me, you're gonna want to pay attention in a second. Last we left off, to catch Melfison mainly up in this case, these chuckleheads went through a magical forest that basically closed in around them and turned into basically a magic maze. They eventually, through some trial and error, some mechanical dice rolls to go with that trial and error, and some luck, and a couple of encounters, seem to have made it to the end. The last thing in front of them was a chimera, which is a large flying monster with 3 heads, 1 dragon, 1 goat, 1 lion. I emphasize was, because it is no longer standing in front of you.
Uh-oh.
Also for the purpose of this, like usual, if I can think of a story reason, I will, but in this case, Melfis, you were just with them. Because it's easier that way this week. The chimera seems to dissipate. And yet the clearing that you feel is your way out does not seem to open further to you. Instead, coming from the opposite side of the clearing, through a bit of an opening, but it didn't really open so much as they just kind of seemed to appear through mist. You see a figure. A very large, almost as tall as the chimera would have been figure. More humanoid, though. Bipedal. Reynauld.
Oh.
You instantly have a flashback of memory. To the last time before, basically to your last restart, to use technology terms. How your cycle has gone, usually with Simon, from what he stole, from what he claims at least. But this one you definitely remember was not. Yours is sort of reborn weirdness. You keep coming back probably because you're essentially an angel of vengeance to get your revenge on him. He wasn't the one that killed you last time. The person standing across the clearing from you right now was. And you have a flash of memory of this creature. Person. Thing. The rest of you haven't. Just body. You don't need his helmet off to see his face. Body language. Reynauld changes. What the rest of you see is about 8.5 to 9 feet tall. Looks like probably about 450 to 500 pounds of absolutely grotesque, half-scaled, half-hideous, sweaty green flesh.
Cute.
It seems, best you can tell by the body, by the build, seems to be female, but it's hard to discern. Not because of potential. Well, for one thing, because the face is so serpentine, it's hard to tell if they have a gender. Pretty much the only thing that physically gives you an indication they're probably female or female adjacent in some way is that they seem to have breastises.
It was the bikini.
But, and they are wearing a disgusting, dirty brown with lots of deep red blood stains bikini.
Oh, that's disgusting.
They are also carrying two larger than the art, because our wonderful artist Killer, who did this for me, I told him to take whatever liberties he needed to make everything fit on profile. Pick on like the stand-up image size that he used. But they are probably about twice as big in comparison to the picture, as you see. Very obviously glowing, disgusting black magic. I was going to say sickles, but scythe would be a better word. She's basically one-handing a mid-sized scythe in each hand. And this is what she looks like. Oh yeah, and she has also glowing yellow eyes. And this is what she looks like.
Beautiful.
Especially from Elphys.
Oh, didn't we see her before a long time ago?
Well, our
Amazing.
characters didn't.
In the pre-campaign one-shot we did.
Oh
Yeah, the other
his characters never
characters.
saw it. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, you were? Oh yeah, she's a beauty.
However, if some of you that, because it's not terribly hidden, I'm pretty sure Underpaid's mentioned it, will recall, Underpaid is playing, we re-leveled him for the campaign purpose, and that's why we explained it as he's reborn and dies and comes back, starts over. But he's playing the same historical character he played in the one-shot.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a reskin. Like a redo type thing. He's playing the same character. He's just been, with his reborn shit, has come back to life and had to rebuild his strength. Reynauld, you immediately know two things. Number one, this woman killed you, which means she's extremely dangerous given your fighting ability. And number two, you feel like not only did she kill you and everyone that was with you the last time you saw her, but you know from the flash of memory you had, you yourself are not as strong as the last time she killed you. Because every time you die, you have to start remembering a lot of your fighting techniques and things again.
Yeah.
You were stronger when she slain you than you are now.
That is a horrifying thought to Reynauld. And his first instinct.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Well, I was just I was just gonna let you finish your thought, but she looks across you all, and her eyes fix on Reynauld when she realizes who he is. She goes, "So, the once great king brings another army for me to slay."
The monster, she still live.
I didn't agree to
I-
this.
But does all our characters know each other at this point? So I could like talk
Yes.
to Ray. All right, cool. Ray, she's really looking at you. Do you guys like know each other?
Silence.
What?
You all need to run now.
Oh well, I think I'm gonna agree with you. Let's get out of here, guys. She does
Yeah,
not look
I
friendly.
think I might accept his offer here. I think I'm just gonna leave.
Give me a moment before we continue.
Oh,
Reynaud's
shit,
telling
here we
us
go.
Do you mind if I at
run,
least
then.
give my party a bit of a...
Oh no, please go ahead and like role play. I forgot to pull open a thing that I need.
I've
No, it ain't a battle map.
I fought her before. She has failed me. I'm nowhere near as strong as before. She will do it again, and she will kill you all.
Yeah, let's go, guys. I kind of don't want to lose my feet.
If Reynauld is
somewhat
telling us to
reasonable.
leave, then we probably should take his offer on.
Yeah, I agree.
So, here's what's basically happening. Everything, maybe it's all in your head's a shared moment of fear. Maybe it's some weird effect of the forest or this being. All of you swear time stands still. You can move, but it feels like everything's. Feels like you're in an action movie scene in slow motion.
Like Matrix.
Kinda, yeah. But you know how, like, in a lot of the big, like, war movies and stuff, everything will turn into, like, a slow motion explosions around you shit? Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's really all of you feeling it. Maybe it's all of you being scared shitless. But you all kind of feel that vibe, although you are free to move. And Reynauld, in your head, you hear an old war hymn from your kingdom. Your court jester, bard, whatever you want to call him, used to sing it, although he actually brought it from across the lands. It seems to be a bit of a nationless, religiousless, shared battle hymn amongst all the different followers of the gods. And it begins playing in your head. And for all of you, I'm going to play the song. Technically, there's a possibility this one could be copywritten, but honestly, I don't care. It's the song I want played right now. It's also only a couple minutes long. So, music begins playing in your head, and you begin singing it to yourself. And the rest of you, I assume, are taking his advice at this point?
Yes. I want out of
I'm different.
Oh yeah, so like, with how much Rey likes to fight, this, yeah, I think we should, back off. If he's saying we shouldn't fight.
So, you do see, as she starts to step forward, that where she came from does now open into an exit. And she seems fixed on Reynauld for the moment. So you probably have a moment to run towards it and escape. Which you all do. As you're all running, you realize Reynauld is buying you time. He's not running.
We can't leave Rey.
I am in place and I am ready to receive her wrath.
He runs with you as far as to basically switch where you guys were standing and where she is so that you can reach the exit, and then he stands firm. He runs forward. He gives her several of his biggest, strongest, most heroic blows. Like, you guys have never seen him fight like this before. And as you guys are all looking over your shoulders, hoping he's going to join you and he's just buying some time for positioning, both of her scythes run him through and hoist him off of the ground. And he's still slashing at her. He's literally he's hung from her scythes like meat hooks, and he's still trying to fight it with everything he's got left. He takes some chunks out of her, but she is too much. And she runs him through, throws him over her shoulder, smiles at you guys, and then turns around and charges over at his fallen body and just starts slashing him with the ends of these things. You see necrotic energy. You guys that are magic users will probably recognize one of them seems to be coated with necrotic magic and one with psychic energy. And she is going to town on this man. You have about 10 seconds to get the hell out of here, and you just manage to make it as the full forest closes behind you.
Oh shit.
Reynauld, apparently, no more.
He didn't get out of there, did he, guys?
No. I don't know this group very well.
I don't think he made it. What was he doing?
But he sacrificed.
Oh my god.
Why didn't
he
you
did
just
that on
turn the music
purpose.
down if you couldn't hear?
Yeah, you can do that, by the way, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know you guys that well, but anyone willing to sacrifice themselves, if we ever get an opportunity, I would like to get his remains so we give him a proper burial. I don't think he made it, guys.
I don't think he made it either.
Well,
Oh,
Too long didn't
the
listen.
player let the voice.
Cheated.
Oh god. He
No,
destroyed-
that was the music player because I only wanted one song on the playlist I have to play.
Can't believe it.
Jesus, right?
He-
Jesus, underpaid.
See how she just made short work of him?
whoa.
He's dead. He's dead
Oh.
and he's dead. Got it.
Too long didn't listen, I died.
That's the summary for me. Got it. Thanks, man.
TLD.
Yeah, basically, I will
TLDR.
TLDR it for you because I forgot that you weren't here the last time I played music, so you wouldn't have known the music was going to be loud.
I didn't either.
Mhm.
Reynauld instantly recognized them. He said run, which you guys started to do. The spot she came into the trees from opened behind her, and basically he squared off with her in order for like circling a boxing ring type thing. It's to get your guys' backs to the side she came from, so you could run to the opening. And then he fought her until she brutally killed him to give you the time you needed to escape. And now the forest that was behind you is closed again and doesn't seem to exist anymore.
Oh, really?
It disappears once it closes behind you.
You guys, the hell's going on here?
Well, we have
We
to.
just lost Reynauld to the forest.
The forest swallowed him up.
He lost Reynauld to something.
What was that thing? That grotesque creature?
Oh, she
What
looks
even
like.
just happened?
I don't know. I couldn't get a good smell on her. There was just so much grotesque.
Why are you?
Well, I'm a rabbit. I can smell good. I don't know if these, but I'm assuming they smell good.
It's got a good sniffer.
I mean, I'm just
I
doing
don't-
lore.
I don't think they necessarily mechanically get any benefits, but I would, if you essentially are a bipedal, your DNA is linked to that of rabbits, and they have pretty good sense of smell. I would say for certainly story purposes, yes, you would have an acute sense of smell.
Yeah, just for lore, and plus they're a ranger, so they're more in tune with nature too. So
Yeah, it makes
I think
sense.
it's cool.
Fair
If you're
enough,
okay
yeah.
with that, Qual, but if it's a I mean, it's just storytelling. I don't think it's a mechanical thing.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's like I said,
No,
it's
not just sniffing out your targets, though. That'd be weird.
yeah,
Well-
it's definitely more of a story thing. But yeah, I always say that for Charlene as well, being Tabaxi. Like you're even though you are technically you're a humanoid race that has the appearance of such, I do like to lean into that sometimes. So yeah, absolutely, you would have smelled that.
Oh, well, I smelled a lot of things, guys, but it was hard to get a fix on her. She's some kind of grotesque, a lot of magic too, which is, but a foulness. And I've been on many hunts.
You're a ranger, right?
Correct.
Go ahead and give me a history check with advantage.
Okay, now fuck, I forget all these commands. Let's see, it's been a while.
I
Here,
think
I'll.
it should be. Hold on, wait. I think I got it. Exclamation C.
There we go.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, there. Shadow's got it. He's gonna type faster than me.
Not the disadvantage.
Ooh, 17.
You've never seen one
think
that
I know
looked
20.
quite like that before, but taking a minute now that things are calm enough to think, there's enough similarity in features. It's sort of like, how you as a Harengon would, not every Harengon is the same color of rabbit skin, things like that. There's different, subspecies and stuff. You figure within a few seconds to think it over, while particularly grotesque looking, she probably was either some kind of more unique offshoot of a Yuan-Ti, which is a snake people race.
Ah. Yeah, guys. Can I say that, by the way, that she might be a Yuan-Ti or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm telling you.
All right, guys. One thing I did pick up, even though she's hideous, she might be a Yuan-Ti. I believe there's a little bit of I could faintly smell their racial profile, and yeah, that's the only thing I could offer you guys right now. I hope I'm right.
I have no clue what the hell happened to Reynolds' body, so
I will say you hope you're right in the sense that it would help you identify what the hell that thing was.
Correct.
But also the other part of you that knows what a Yuan-Ti is probably doesn't want yourself to be right because they are. Let's put it this way: they are the one race. Like I more or less ignore that drows, because we're in our own world and stuff. Yuan-Ti are the one race that most people still look at if you see one that is in normal society and go, are they going to cut my throat?
Okay, so I'll recon that real quick, guys. If it is a Yuan-Ti, I hope I'm not right because they're not the type of individuals you really want to have any kind of business with.
Yeah, they're cold, calculating savages.
By the way, Paul, are they ever in D&D groups? Are there good versions, or are they just evil?
If you both.
Oh, okay.
You can as a player character play anything you want, but like for example, to use the real world, but like the main D&D lore of like the Forgotten Realms is like the main official world. If you go back to like the older first and second edition D&D when that world was first designed, and like dark elves or drow, whatever you want to call them, there is in the like official like novel adaptations that were written years ago that are considered canon. There is a very heroic dark elf drow. I forget if they used the term drow back then or not, but name that you've probably heard of if you've ever played any of the like video games, because they often mention him in lore in those, named Drizzt.
Is he the one that literally started
he might even I think
to the sun so he could get used to being on the surface world?
Something like that, yeah. I think he actually might even be one of the ones you play as in Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 3.
Yeah.
They changed that, I think. But yeah, back his story is that the Dark Elves couldn't really handle the sun. It was too
no, if you look at a drow in... I never really made you guys... I really never enforced it with you guys, because especially you were playing one and it was your first time playing last campaign. But if you look at drow on D&D Beyond now, when you make one, technically you have sunlight sensitivity and you're supposed to have disadvantage for a bunch of stuff when you're in the sun.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep. But also part of your backstory, I ignored that because you were raised above the surface. So I didn't... that and you being new, I didn't want you to have more stuff to remember. Story-wise, it didn't make sense. But yeah, if you play a drow the way they're built based on the main lore, they technically have sensitivity to the sun. Yeah, it sucks. I'm pretty sure if your DM says you're in broad daylight, you have disadvantage on perception checks and attack rolls.
Yeah.
No.
Okay,
wow.
That kind of does suck, especially if you. I always like the dark elf characters to play, so that kind of sucks. But do a lot of DMs kind of enforce that or nah?
It depends on how.
Depends.
Like if you're playing a homebrew world and how much they care about enforcing rules as written.
Oh.
Like if you guys wanted to play a drow, if we ever take a break from this and play one of the established settings like we were discussing, I probably, if you said I'm playing a drow again and had a similar story where, however you ended up on the surface, you were there for a long time, I probably wouldn't enforce it. But if you went, yeah, I'm a drow and I just walked out of the Underdark, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm enforcing that.
Yeah.
Because you just came above ground. But yeah, so like using that as an example in the main Forgotten Realms lore, you can absolutely play Yuan-Ti. You can go look them up in your Beyond list. I have access to them because I'm pretty sure they're from either the Player's Handbook or Volo's or something. And there is even a new version from the reissued Monstrous Races book, the Monsters of the Multiverse. But and you can play them however you want. Like I'm pretty sure when they list Drizzt in like, if you look up his info on like wikis and stuff, I'm pretty sure he's like neutral good as a drow, which is rare in the Forgotten Realms. But yeah, Yuan-Ti are the one race in the world of Myrtoth that still gets those looks because they are almost always evil. That is, it's not, this is not some kind of racial profiling. They earn that shit.
It's very much intentional.
Let's put it this way. If you meet a Yuan-Ti in Myrtoth or in the Forgotten Realms in the real D&D lore that isn't a piece of shit, it's a surprise. Honestly, even if they're only kind of a piece of shit, you probably met one of the nice ones.
Damn.
They're awful.
Burning in the sun.
I've never run into that with the drow, but that's because I think most people that I've played with that have just played drow that have been living with society for a while.
Oh yeah,
if you play a drow in the Forgotten Realms who's spent most of their life above ground, I would ignore the sunlight sensitivity. You would probably get a few more head turns because drow are odd to see above ground. They're pretty rare. Like, not unheard of, but like most drow in Forgotten Realms lore are intended to kind of be villains as well. So it's pretty rare to see one that walks among you and isn't a scumbag. But no, I wouldn't. Even in the Forgotten Realms, there's a difference between them and Yuan-Ti when I run them, at least. Let's put it this way: there are drow who are on the more semi-neutral, a little less outright evil side, who would look at Yuan-Ti and go, "Bro, that's fucked up."
Wow.
Yeah, they are awful.
Freaky.
And they are the one race that I kept that way because I knew I wanted to use them as an enemy.
Yeah,
that's fair.
This one's definitely an enemy. For Ray's body.
So,
I mean,
I think we got off topic.
Well,
and we're gonna get back on topic.
We're enjoying it. Well, we need to do something about this.
I need the distraction.
Oh, we need to do something about this. We really have to figure out how to get people to be brought back again.
We have to find the body, don't we?
Yeah, we definitely have to find the body.
I'm not sure how.
God.
Well, we have. I was gonna say Shadow. We have our friend. We have our friend here, Zarvir.
His name's right there.
I'm looking. I can't read. I can't read. I'm illiterate, y'all. Zarvir, you know about this stuff. You were one of them. Do we need his body to bring him back?
Sorry, oh yeah. Fuck. Him, yeah. He might come back, might not. I don't know. He does weird things. He's different than me. I mean,
yeah.
There isn't a set path.
Oh.
I don't know.
We do need to try. Look at what they did for us.
What if we just get a finger?
I think we're all dead if we don't bring him back, because he knew more about them than we did, apparently.
Or we just find out more ourselves.
I need to go remind myself of Luka's backstory.
Do we want to risk?
We can't just.
Maybe we could come back and.
We have to try.
Either way, whatever that thing was, just signed its own death wish.
Yes, I do agree, but we need to be careful about it. She has a certain aura about her, very powerful.
We can't do it now, but
Reynauld usually want to dive in it
soon.
Zarvir, but
We got to go back and regroup. We need to know more.
Maybe someone will know something about her in town or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe we
I
get
say
some
let's
info.
go back to town, regroup over there.
We have to warn them that this. Yeah.
So I
Hey,
think
Charlene,
we're
read
going
Discord,
to.
read Discord.
Paul, I think we're all agreed to go back into town to regroup so we could get our thoughts together.
Yeah. Easy enough.
Get back to civilization.
You guys do notice, I'm still skimming the backstory, but you guys do notice just give me a second.
Anna.
Yeah, you guys do notice Luka comes with you, but she is out of it. She is in a different level of shock than the rest of you.
Okay. Luka, we've noticed you've been quite quiet. Is something wrong? You haven't really said anything much at all.
Do you think she's like under a spell?
Oh, could she?
She's just, how do I describe this? You can see she doesn't really react to your words. She's just out of it. Can't heal anything, pretty much. I guess you could say.
It's the demons. We gotta get her to her choice.
So what I would do is I would stop her and kind of look at her straight in the eyes and say, "Are you okay?" And does she still continue to like ignore?
She'll shake her head a bit just to snap herself out of it. Sorry, yeah, I was just thinking.
You could tell us. I know what we went through just now is pretty bad.
Oh, my headset died.
Just, I had backstory with Reynauld, and just it hurts to see him again.
Oh, I can understand that. And Zar, you've been real quiet too. You haven't said much at all.
Me?
Yes, you.
Did you just call me Czar?
Oh, sorry. I always do nicknames with people.
God, never do that. Just never, ever.
How about Veer? You like Veer?
Oh, Veer, there we go.
Zarvy? Veer.
Veer.
Sir Zarvirian the Fourth, Esquire.
I know the
my
Folks.
computer went out, I think.
Whose computer?
Mine.
Oh,
I
shoot.
think my Wi-Fi cut out for a second.
I know the full extent of Zarvir's level of backstory seriousness. That's fucking great.
What happened?
Oh.
What
Veer,
happened?
Oh my god.
We've been making up terrible pet names for
Yeah.
Zarvir.
It's a sign of affection, y'all.
Yeah, you guys are trying to lighten it up a little bit as much as we can, but I can understand.
I can't believe this guy goes and dies on me. I was just starting to like him.
You were?
Piece of shit. No. Didn't say that. But
Okay, I didn't hear that.
thank you.
Hear that
Thank you.
Even though it's kind of difficult with my ears, but you know.
Can't believe this guy. It's
Oh no.
God damn it.
Garbage.
He's a real piece of work, man.
Human garbage.
Exactly. Can't believe he just die on us like that.
So rude, right?
It really was his fault, though. I mean, we have this big, grotesque, I guess, woman sliced him to bits. It wasn't really his choice. Oh, I guess sacrificing himself.
Did he say anything about her before
No,
all of that?
No, not really. Other than that, we need
No,
to run.
he just said run, and we all just
Yes.
took off.
Yeah, we're like, okay.
Need to give us more information.
Yeah,
No,
he didn't say
unfortunately,
he didn't say
Darn it.
shit about a mini Godzilla lady.
Ugh, stench.
What are you
Still
doing
okay.
midnight?
Have you guys ever
Look at
smelled
me.
something so bad? Ugh. Still can't get that scent out of my nose.
Smell like rotting corpses. Did
Yeah.
not smell good.
Yeah. It's
And-
to you.
Oh no.
I was about to say change your name, and then I realized you're just doing what you did with Melphis and using your two names as your character
I gotta
names.
use some. Actually, I used Ventar for my one character. Remember?
Oh, that's fine. I was mildly picking on you for it, but I just genuinely forgot you used your other online alias for this character's name. So I was like, wait, what's your name? Oh, right, that is actually your name.
Right. Double take.
So Shissan, or however the hell you pronounce that, because I forget.
That's good.
I've been saying Shissan this whole time. I guess I was saying it wrong.
Yeah,
Shissan.
I'll probably put it more into a
Sounds
Z
good.
sound than an S because it's easier to say. But otherwise, I'll try and remember that. Shissan, you definitely, that was part of why you had to think if it wasn't just an uneven more grotesque appearance than normal. The smell of that you're used to the couple times you've encountered Yuan-Ti was actually almost overwhelmed by the horrendous smell of old death attached to that woman.
Yeah, she's definitely something else. A lot of nastiness, death. Seems to be you remember when I told you guys about her aura? That aura is death, and yeah, we really need to find a way to help our buddy. If we get his body back somehow, either for proper burial, or maybe we could bring him back with someone's help.
I think nobody can be revived right now. I'm pretty sure we have to.
That's what we're saying. We need to fix that issue and be prepared to be able to revive him.
And we gotta find his corpse as well.
Yes. Who knows what she's doing to it? Maybe she ate him.
Can we get it back after that?
Oh, I don't know. Would you want to go?
Like when
I'll reanimate his corpse. We'll see how that goes.
Like when your pet eats something and then you have to wait for him to pass it to make sure that he passed it. Oh no.
Yeah, if you want to volunteer to go through her shit,
oh no.
Power to you.
Dino shit.
I think you'll find.
Up to you, Charlene.
I think you'll find trying to retrieve him at this point is going to be a bad idea.
Whoa, what was that?
Okay, well, I'm
Who said that?
as far away from that forest.
You hear a voice from somewhere behind you. You don't at first see it, the person. But eventually a person does appear. And goes, it might take a bit longer, but there's ways without a body.
Oh. Do we see this character, by the way, now, Paul? I'm assuming we all turn around to look.
Yes, you do see them. And they look like this.
Ooh, mysterious.
Nice, I like it. Good sir, are you going to... Well, let me rephrase that. Good sir, did you know our friend? I haven't met you before. I apologize for that.
I've met none of you before, except the one you seek.
And yes.
What do you know?
Interesting. By the way, guys, he doesn't seem to have anything nasty about him from perspective, other than he kind of needs a bath. But besides the point, he seems okay to me.
Well, I hope you're a good judge of character.
Would you or your kitty friend like to offer your tongue for one?
How much? I mean, what?
No, that's fine, sir. That's fine. Sorry to insult.
You don't want mine. I've already given a hand.
Oh yeah, you haven't given a hand at one point, yeah.
This is
Oh
true.
yeah, I forgot you only have one hand.
Still
I was
one-handed.
I was actively as DM thinking about that yesterday. I just forgot today again by now. Sure did. He just looks at Charlene and is like, "You're an odd one, even amongst this group."
Oh, thank you.
Anyway, I do not myself have the means to do what you seek, nor do I expect that you have the financials to do it yet. Also, I've heard something about a death curse, but once that, if you or someone else are able to have that lifted, you don't necessarily need a body to recover someone if you have enough money.
That's gonna be a lot of dough.
How much are we talking? I do have some coin. I'm more than willing to.
Like I said, I've never done it myself, but I do know the magic's required, both the power level of it and roughly the amount of material components required. It will cost you about 25,000 gold to do it that way.
Wow.
What?
That's a lot of gold.
The good news is, it is such powerful magic that you have about 200 years to accumulate the gold before it doesn't work anymore.
That's a right side.
I mean, if
Guys, maybe we could
we're
take
not
some
dead yet.
jobs to get this gold as soon as possible. There's a lot of stuff in these major cities we could possibly do. Some big hunts.
I would strongly suggest one way you may get a large sum of payment that's going to matter a lot before you even attempt anything like it. Finish solving the death curse problem. Because right now, even if you tried that, it wouldn't work.
That's our priority.
Thank you.
One other thing. May I have that? You look over, and there's one thing that you didn't notice till it was pointed out because of your panic and discussion that seems to have somehow found its way out of the forest before it closed in on itself. Reynauld's helmet and sword, actually, two things.
How in the world did that get there?
He seems to be pointing at the sword more than the helmet. He goes, I promised the family I would keep that safe. It's a bit of an heirloom.
I don't particularly have any issue.
Whose side are you on?
What about you?
I have been keeping tabs on Reynauld and his family for what you folks that use time, that measure time, what year is it?
Oh, I don't pay attention to that.
The answer, by the way, I forget the exact number, but so I'll just make one up because honestly, I'm going to redo some parts of the calendar for the next campaign in this world anyway because I never finished building it properly. But based on when I imagine it's set, it is roughly 12. We'll say 1250.
Right.
It'd be 1250 PD post division.
Good sir, I think it's 1250.
Then I've been tracking this sword and his family tree for about 2,000 years.
Whoa.
Oh my.
I believe that's when I took over the role. There was someone who had it before I did, but that's about 2,000 of what you guys measure as years.
Interesting. Our friend is a lot more complicated story than I anticipated. Interesting.
I don't even know my family history that long.
It's also a lot more complicated than he anticipated because I added that.
Oh wow.
Well, guys, I think we need to definitely get rid of this death curse. And any information on how we could do that, job-wise and stuff, I would really appreciate it. The sooner we could get our good friend back, the better.
The person who created the ritual will need to be slain, and their research will need to be given to very, very powerful clerics to reverse once they know the formula.
They must be stopped.
Don't suppose you know one of those.
Well,
Oh, we do, don't we?
Oh,
I mean,
clerics.
You literally know the most powerful cleric.
Yep.
You literally know the pope of one of the religions,
Amaya.
essentially.
I don't think my character knows, but they definitely do.
Oh yeah, we met.
Yeah,
someone like that.
you met them after they were on the road. So yeah, you haven't that you would not have been there for.
Do you guys are talking about someone? Do you know a powerful cleric?
Yes, we do.
Ah, good,
Very much
good. What's their name, by the way?
Amaya. She was beautiful.
Was beautiful.
When last time we saw her?
I think.
Oh, okay, because you talk about them.
Poor Amaya.
Who's gonna say?
Amina's like was beautiful. What? She's dead.
You get back.
Whoa.
You get back to town, and Amaya
Can't be
has
sure.
passed away.
You can never be too sure in this world.
Yeah.
Not Amaya. Our only hope.
All right.
No, that is not the case.
I mean, she would have given us a discount at least.
I don't think she's gonna give us a discount after.
She literally can't give you a discount.
Yeah.
The spell requires 25,000 gold in materials.
more
Damn.
post-mortem discount.
Well, maybe she
She
could.
could not give you a discount if she wanted to.
She could if she put her own money in.
Wow.
What money?
It's
She
fucked
gives
up.
all of her money except for living
Yeah.
expenses to the church.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Mina.
Mm.
She's literally up. Oh,
Mina's
Stealing
a-
from the church, is that illegal? Is that bad?
She puts it in the
yeah, it's literally
depend-
bad in this
No,
timeline.
Depends.
Me.
Depends. Would you like to be tried for crimes against a god?
Huh. Depends on the god.
The life god.
Let's put it this way.
yeah.
I haven't
Oops.
thought out what the punishment might be normally, but stealing from a life cleric right now during a permanent, as far as the average person knows, permanent curse that prevents resurrections in a world where people rely on resurrections, you might just get stoned to death in the street by commoners who are going, stop trying to steal from the people trying to fix this problem.
That story checks out.
So.
Listen, I haven't thought that closely about it, but I imagine something like that would probably happen if they realized what you were doing.
Possibly.
Okay, Charlene, no more burning down the villages. Come on.
No.
So you're saying I shouldn't burn down the church. Okay.
Don't burn down the church. Don't burn down the town. And definitely don't burn down a forest. Come on.
Or the priest's living space.
Is this
She
one
takes everything to
always?
fire.
Is she always wanting to burn things down?
Yes.
I said I'm not burning it down.
Yep.
We're good. What do you mean?
And even though I forgot to put the deeper voice on, that was actually the guy you're talking to. He's apparently been watching your. Well, I mean, he said he's been following whoever carries the family sword, so he's been following you guys somehow.
Well, that's a little unsettling.
So we would. I think everyone's agreeing we would give the sword to this fine gentleman.
Luka is gonna go pick up the sword and helmet and walk up to him.
Okay.
I have a question for you first.
Sure. Ask away.
If we're able to revive him, will you give him back the sword?
I anxiously await the day I get to introduce myself to him in person.
That was vague.
With that, Luka's gonna hand over the sword. to him.
I should rephrase. We've met before, but he probably wouldn't recognize me now.
I get that.
Oh, has it been many years? You've aged?
Um,
Well, I mean, his
I do.
memory
I
is
age.
but I'm assuming.
I do age much slower than you all, but yes, it is possible for me to age. Yeah, yeah, the last time he saw me, I would have looked quite a bit different.
Interesting.
Also, I do have some magical abilities. If memory serves, I don't think I've ever shown him my true face because I don't normally wear this face.
Mask.
But I felt if we were going to meet under such unfortunate circumstances that you all should see my true form first. So here we are.
So many secrets. I like it.
Well, I say true form. As true a form as I can physically show you on the material plane. I can't really run around with angel's wings on my back.
Oh, you're an angel.
Oh yeah.
Cherub.
So the brown coat he's wearing seems to be a big long trench coat. And now that he mentioned something about it, you see it looks strange around the shoulders, and he drops it behind him, and big fucking white feathery wings pop out.
Oh, he's like a bird.
No,
y'all?
I wouldn't say a bird. But we don't want to insult our new friend here. We definitely need their help.
But there's bird people in this world, ain't there?
Are they? Oh, there are, but not like an angel, though. I'm assuming.
You know, Aarakocra look like bipedal bird.
Yeah.
You know how
I
you
don't-
look like a cat on? You know, you look like a cat on two legs. Aarakocra look like birds on two legs.
I don't see many of them under the dwarven mountain I grew up in.
I'm surprised me this character doesn't want to eat them because she's part feline. I'm assuming they like birds.
Who says I don't?
She's not that good. She's not really feline though.
I don't.
That's what
I don't
mean
hunger
by
for birds.
I play with it. I play with it a little bit, but as far as I know, it's not like you have the DNA of a cat.
Splicing.
They probably don't, right? Those cat-like creatures
No.
don't really do.
It would be the same as elves are just look like pointy-eared humans. Tabaxi look like cats on two legs.
Cool.
But with that, he goes, "Oh, I should probably. It's only right I give you all my name." I say that as I go frantically searching for his name.
Is it the same as the picture, Zakel?
It was going to be, but I need to double check something first.
Oh, such a strange type of person. I'm really enjoying getting out of that enclosed space, the wide open world.
Dude, being in that forest was kind of horrible, though.
Yeah. We should
you
probably
could take us in
process
the wrong
that.
direction.
We should process our trauma.
Oh, by the way, what happened to the last time I played? Was we were on some kind of turtle's back, if I remember right, some island.
Oh yeah,
what happened to that?
That was cool.
What happened with that was that I sort of we didn't play for a few weeks and I forgot about it.
The turtle back.
Yep, shit, I
yeah.
forgot about that as well.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome.
So, basically, what was going to... I won't tell you what's going to happen there because I may do some weird time travel shit. You may end up back there.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Now that you reminded me, it was a story beat that I forgot to make notes on.
Yeah.
So I may do some wonky shit with time, especially with a bunch of you being dying and re-dying characters this time. I can't find it. Anyway, for now, he does give you the names. He does give you the name Zokel.
Zokel.
We can always retcon.
Do I recognize that name at all?
Give me a history check. And I would say, I will ask you a question before you roll. In your time, is Luka the type to read? Doesn't have to be research necessarily, but is Luka a reader?
Yes, she would be, yes.
Roll it with advantage because of your connection to Reynauld's backstory.
Ooh, 19. Good.
Nice.
That has been known to be referenced in some ancient family writings. And Luka, it's a bit of a. It was never proven, so you may take it with a grain of salt, or choose to believe it in your shock, or have reason to believe it at this point based on what's happening. The rumor, Reynauld is not the first member of his lineage to seemingly be able to, without typical traditional magics, come back from the dead. There are rumors that that's the reason that that's the case, is that the grand 26 something generations back patriarch of the family goes by the name Zokel.
Whoa.
And people in the family who have met him and had an experience like you have with seeing his true form on occasion suspect that the inherent recovery, shall we say, to an extent of the family tree is because he is a celestial who made the first generation of humanoids with a humanoid, and that they have angel blood in them.
Dang.
It's very much rumored. No one can prove it because the history is so vague in those early days. But over the generations, people from the family and around the family who wrote about the family, who have met this man and figured out, either seen firsthand like you, or figured out somehow that he is of angelic blood, feel that he seems to take too much of an interest to just be some kind of like family friend or guide. There seems to be more to it than that. Nothing you remember reading about the name is malicious. He seemed like, as far as trusting him now, he seems on the level. Like none of the writings or anything where the name was mentioned were like, oh, he was a devil pretending to be an angel or some bullshit. It's just unclear exactly what his role is, but he always seems to show up when someone in the family is in need. And with the family's history of unique resuscitative abilities, people believe it may have to do with how close he is to the family and the fact that he is essentially nigh immortal. Let's put it this way, after recalling what you've read about him, you get the sense when he was talking about technically he ages, it's probably more like he puts on whatever face he thinks he needs to for the people he wants to talk to. And less that he physically ages. But yes, you do remember in your time, in killing your time and reading up on your days off and things with just, you had free reign of the castle as long as you behaved yourself. You went to the old libraries and you're like, I've definitely read that name a bunch and remember some shit I read. Let's put it this way: you read enough to it doesn't change your opinion on him. If anything, it may slightly improve it for being unsure about him. Because every interaction you read about seems like he tried to be helpful to the family. but there's definitely something odd about him, even beyond just the fact that he seems to be some kind of angelic being. He seems to have a particular interest in this family.
Okay.
Luka's looks like she's
So,
back to normal-ish. Thinking.
Lucas thinking of a response. Give him a minute to process the response.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, everything's gonna be fine.
So do with that information what you will, Luka. But yes, given your history with the family, you would have had it, and being there for so many years, and let's be honest, when you're not working in a more or less, medieval fantasy setting, there's not a lot to do but read. You had lots of time to come across this name before. Yeah, no worries.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Well, I'll trust him for now. Dun 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 dun.
Ooh. Dun dun dun. Yeah, that's the other thing you read about him. You do notice that every time he appears, apparently the sound "dun dun dun" appears. The sound behind him.
Very dramatic.
No. Very dramatic. TV mystery from the 60s, radio dramas, music.
Some violins come out.
So yeah, while some people are AFK and we've kind of not really taken a break exactly, but just sort of everyone was quiet for me to chime in. It's a good thing you all decided to wait around, because as long as at least 3 of you did, I was doing that scene whether you were here or not.
Hey, we all got to see it.
Nice.
Yes, I'm glad.
It worked out.
Yep.
And I'm honestly glad that I did end up having the nap, because A, that was the main thing I'd prepared, so the rest of it is just some roleplay time anyway. But also, I was more awake to deliver it with the oomph that I wanted to. As far as describing the fight back and forth and shit. That I don't know I would have had the brain power to give it if I had tried to do it without the sleep.
That makes sense.
Oh, there goes my phone. Okay. What's that noise, dude? I have a broom. What was that storm?
Are you alright there, buddy?
No.
I don't think he is.
I heard something and I found his coming from behind me, so I was gonna watch him make face with the broom. I think my cat is dying though, and I'm scared.
Oh no.
Is there a reason you think your cat is dying?
I don't know, someone cuff him or had to cuff it? I just don't know.
Has it occurred to you that your cat might have a hairball?
Well, I do, and I'll have to clean it up again. It's disgusting. I hate doing it.
Oh yeah. I need to get mine trimmed. He pukes up fur a lot, so I'm just get him trimmed. That helps. It's got too much fur. Yeah, he keeps licking himself just too much, so he's just got to get a trim.
He wants to be extra clean. Let him.
He eats too much hair.
I say that because you're worried about him sounding like he's like choking or something, and I know
that's what it sounds like.
My cat the other day, literally yesterday, puked up 2 hairballs.
They like to do that.
Yeah, mine didn't for a long time, or not as often, but she seems to clean herself more the last like year or two. I don't know if it's just because she's like 5 or 6 years old now, and she just realized that's a thing she should be doing more. I don't know.
Right? Oh wait, I am a cat. Huh.
I'm a cat.
I should do cat things.
Hey, give me my cat back. Get back into my cat.
Huh.
Stole my cat.
A cat thief?
Cat thief? Who's the cat thief?
Oh, my brother. Stealing my cat.
Oh, damn thief.
Oh no.
So I steal my cat.
Oh, I have bad news about Red Dog.
Oh no.
What now?
My dog, Red Dog. I got 3 dogs: Red Dog, Black Dog, and Lua de Prada. Lua de Prata, which means silver moon in
What's
Portuguese.
the bad news about Red Dog?
I'm trying to give the good news first. So he had prostatitis. So it's really hard to find that out early enough to do anything about it. So when Will took him in, that was it. He had to put him down.
That's no good.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was a good boy.
That dog was always so cute, though.
Right? He's so lovely.
Should have fed him more treats before putting him down.
He was so needy, but he was a good boy. He was
Give him all the treats and then put him down.
I know, right? He was clearly abused before we got him. He was found on the side of the road. His sibling didn't make it, like they were starving. So we gave him a good life. He was a good boy. Such a sweetheart.
So, on that horrifyingly depressing note, because I don't have enough depressing things going on in my week.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to have returned from their burbs. So, Luka, I just read your written thing there. Yeah, he doesn't seem to care about the helmet, so you can take that absolutely if you want to. You get the sense he might have put up more of a fight if Reynauld was still wearing the one that's basically the crown, but the replacement he doesn't care about. So, you guys do in fact, unless you want to talk to Zokel about anything else, can easily make it back to town, since you are basically completely unobstructed, since there is no longer a forest where you went.
I knew I should have burned that to the ground.
You certainly could have tried.
When I still had the chance.
You would kill us all and then end the entire campaign right there if you just did that.
Well, then be glad I didn't.
Reminds me of that. What was that one group that does all cool videos all the time? One the wizard that wants to burn everything, and every time the tavern, they can never leave the tavern because that character burns everything down. That's me.
That is basically just me.
Oh.
That's literally the definition of Mino.
It does sound like me.
It is you.
When we're talking about burning something, I mean, you ever have the courage to do it, which is probably a good thing for us, because we wouldn't be put on trial for you burning down an entire village.
You'll be happy to have me around if we ever have to go into snow lands.
So, you guys make it to town.
I think I'd rather...
How do you literally start talking every time I'm already talking?
Amazing.
Just lucky, I guess.
I am worried about it because it's going to make sometimes not everyone can make it and everything else, but that's what's really going to make this campaign take forever. So, as I was saying, you guys make it back to town, and the two ladies that asked you about this quest in the quest you were on originally, they see you guys walk into the tavern, to the inn that you're staying at in town. And I don't remember if I described them to you this way or not. I think I did, but basically you can tell that they've seen some shit in their day. And they take one look at the look on everyone's faces, especially the people that have been with the group since the beginning. And you can tell they are not they unless you talk to them, they are not going to bother you because they have buried enough of their own friends to know what that looks like. They basically just kind of give you a nod, and they do say one thing. They're like, we're here if you need anything," and then they leave you alone. They will talk to you tomorrow about updates on what you found. Because they're like, this is not the time. It's like, I know what that face looks like. I have buried people I've traveled with. That is not the faces you want to see when you start asking questions.
Mm-mm. Don't ask questions you don't want the answers to.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I think we're all exhausted and we need a rest.
Yes, I agree. A good night's sleep would do wonders.
There's nothing we can do right now, so hopefully we'll be able to think of something in the morning.
Yeah, at least there's hope, and that's a good thing.
That's all we've got right now.
So I'm assuming the rest of the group wants to sleep, right, guys?
Steve wants to party.
Yeah.
Oh no,
What?
Steve.
No, I'm tired. I'm tired about the in-game anime right now.
All right.
Me trying to stay awake is a different story.
All right. So I think we all do agree, Paul. We want to all sleep.
All right. So, in real time, a lot of us are, including me still, although, the nap helped, are fairly tired. So we'll have a shorter session because it's almost our normal end time anyway. It's not like I was going to extend the session to make up for being an hour late. It's a shorter session this week.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, almost everyone leveled to 5 for next week.
Ooh.
Oh, cool.
Fun.
Well,
I mean,
basically, I was planning to the original fight. Because that was not the plan. I was originally going to have you fight the Chimera, and when you killed it, you get level 5.
Yeah, because I got the nat 20 on the history. I remember that.
Because underpaid needs to take some time away. Probably could sneakily play, but I don't want to risk getting him in more trouble at home for a game that he can come back to later. So for now, he was like, I'm going to make it this week, but I probably won't be around for a couple months. I'm like, want to go out with a bang? Because I was already before Underpaid mentioned that I knew Underpaid was going to be a bit in and out. But once he told me he was going to be around even less than we first thought, I was like, let's just let you take a break, as much as we both enjoy having you in the party, because it's safer for you to not get grounded more and shit. But I had already been planning soon to just sprinkle an appearance from Jothali in there to remind you guys that's the main campaign arc eventually. Because I hadn't referenced her at all. I barely referenced her, let alone shown her at all to this group of characters. So I was like, okay. So I was planning to already make an appearance in the next couple sessions to introduce herself. I know Reynauld is the same character from the one shot, and I know what happened to that group. You want to get a flash of memory and have a fucking heroic death? And then we can either, when he's ready to come back, if you guys are at the point that you have the money to bring him back, cool. If not, maybe you got to do some more side questing. Maybe he plays another character. I literally have not talked to him about any of that. I told him, by the time you come back, maybe you'll change your mind and not even want to play Reynauld anymore. If you do, I will present options to make it a possibility. Because this is a story death that we needed to give him some time away. I'm not going to hold. It was not his own decisions that caused this, so I'm not going to obviously punish him for it. So if when he's ready to come back, Reynaud's still what he wants to do. We'll figure it out. But in the meantime, congratulations. Your first trauma was technically a party member death.
Oh no.
Dang. Not like this.
I also completely forgot Luka's backstory tied Luka to Reynauld until I'm like, oh no. Oh no. Oh, poor sweet summer child. No.
Oh no. Not like this.
Oh, Luka.
The most innocent among you all to begin with also is the one
Mhm.
getting horribly traumatized.
Oof. What have we done?
Well, what I've done is make an unfortunate real life situation into what I hope is an interesting story. Or certainly I hope to try and make it one. And then I was just deciding what I knew I was going to have somebody interrupt your role play. Not really interrupt, but like join it and possibly answer some questions or give you some kind of guidance on what to do next. Because genuinely, when you look at that, you're like, yeah, you guys know were on a mission, but you just watched your friend get eviscerated? So thoughts of what we were here for originally kind of go out the window when you're in shock. So I'm like, if this person shows up and reminds them, hey, there might be a solution to your problem. It's expensive, but it's possible, but only if you finish what you originally came here for. That would be the in-story way for them to be like, oh shit, yeah, we actually came here for something.
Keep us on track.
And kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And not, sometimes I put stuff like that in there as a funny way to put you guys back on story track because our group is chaos, even compared to a lot of already chaotic D&D groups.
That's fair.
But in this case, I genuinely, with the in-game shock and awe, was like, the characters would need reminding of this because, especially Luka, but all of you to an extent, Shissan is new, but has been with you in game for a week or two probably by this point I envision. We're certainly several days anyway, with travel and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Melphis always plays inquisitive type characters, so there's probably been talk back and forth. You probably know each other as well as parties that have been together for a long time.
Yep.
Because he likes to talk on the road when he plays his characters, which is good. I like to see that. But knowing that he makes characters like that, and you guys all have made characters that are pretty open to talk about most stuff in your life, to an extent at least, he already would have basically been initiated into, okay, these guys are dead and somehow alive still. This woman is apparently not the name she gave us, but we still call her it because fuck it, why not?
Right. Just go with it.
But yeah, you've been, I imagine, with your character's personality, been quickly ingrained, and the other ones have been traveling together for literally they started as level 3, so they were already traveling together for a while before that. Because I envision you guys getting from level 1 to 3 as a party. So it's like, you guys have been together for probably 6-7 months at this point, which in adventuring time is a long-ass time.
Yeah.
And you just watched the guy who's generally the physical protector of your group, get shit-canned, and everybody's in shock. I'm like, I'm going to have a character appear to just sort of role-play with them a bit. And remind the characters in game that don't forget there's a possible solution to this problem, but you have to finish what you've been doing in order for it to work, to still tie everything together. And then I went, okay, I want to give them art because they like to see what the person looks like. So I was like, could I find new art for something? I was like, yes. I was like, but I did have this NPC art. Originally, that art was actually supposed to be for a villain in my Wednesday night group's version of this, or not a version, but chapter in this world. Then I decided I'm just going to keep this world for us and if I do want to homebrew something for them, I'll make it something completely new. Because I already am not the greatest at making or tracking the lore I built. So the less places I have new lore and this coming from in the same world, the less I have to track.
Makes sense.
Plus, however much or little established background lore and stuff there is, you guys built a lot of stuff with the last campaign that was pretty important. So I'm like, I'm just going to keep it to this world to you guys. But originally, it's funny. This campaign is called Krinir's Folly and is about an NPC you haven't met yet. Not about an NPC you haven't met yet, but like that's what the title references.
Right.
Which I don't think is a spoiler. It's pretty straightforward. None of you are named that. The villain's not named that, so it must come from somewhere. But originally, that artwork and name of Zokel was going to be their villain in their part of this world.
Ooh.
And the campaign name was originally going to be Zokel's Folly because he was going to do something, fuck up a ritual or something that caused a bunch of problems, and they had to go kill him over it. But I still love the artwork, so I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to use that picture.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask you, remember that thing I posted? A lot of our fights have been really cool in the side quests. I love the story stuff, but have you ever done something like that in that official? I guess it's in a city and they don't actually kill the villains, but they kind of like, I'm assuming, hide treasure is like an objective to do.
I haven't run a full campaign in a city. I have absolutely run things in like official worlds. That's mostly what I run, except for here. Like the server I help run is based in the Forgotten Realms on the Sword Coast, and then my Sunday table game that I'm a player in is based in our version with our own history and stuff. But the main lore is Forgotten Realms as well, and also my Wednesday game is usually in the Forgotten Realms because I usually run modules for those guys. So yeah, I haven't run a city like centric adventure where it's all like based in one or two specific towns. But yes, I've absolutely run official content like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
it looks like D&D is pretty open ended, man. You could do whatever you want.
I can tell you right now, I'm making up my own individual like adventures and stuff for you. But the concept of the death curse, I literally stole from one of the fucking official modules. It's literally the entire thing. I may even run it for you so you can experience the official interpretation of it, but the concept of the death curse preventing resurrections is literally the main plot line of the Tomb of Annihilation official adventure.
I've heard of
that
one.
And then you get sent into the jungles of Cholt to try to find answers.
Cool. A quick thing, I noticed you say Forgotten Worlds. Does no one in D&D like the space stuff? Because there's a space world too, but I don't see.
Oh, I mean, some people will. Will play with Spelljammer. The main thing is you can play campaigns in space. Typically, at least from what I've seen, and probably what I would do, is just incorporate Spelljammer elements coming to, for lack of a better term, Earth.
Oh, okay. But what I mean is like, it would be cool to do in space, but are you allowed to use those Space Jammer races on Earth or no?
Depends on your DM.
Oh, okay.
Everything depends on your DM. Like half the stuff that I give you guys access to on Beyond at my table game on Sundays, I will probably never play at that table because we usually stick to the core 3 character creation books.
Oh, okay.
My DM has access to most of them, but like he's very much a DM that's like, especially because we're playing in official settings. If it's like, if you wouldn't see it in this setting's lore, you're not playing as it. Unless there's a real good reason for it. So like if we were like Warforged, you're not seeing Warforged at his table unless you're in Eberron, which is the official world and book that they came from.
Oh, okay.
Unless like I said, unless you sold him on like if there was an artificer in your party, because although he kind of doesn't like artificers being in Forgotten Realms and either, but in Tash's Cauldron of Everything, when they updated some of the classes and races, they did include them as a main one you can see in Forgotten Realms lore now. So he might, but like if you had a really cool idea that fit those two into the realms in a way that made sense to him, he would allow it potentially. But by default, like you have to explain why you're trying to do this when it isn't in the lore that we're playing in.
Oh, that makes sense.
Whereas me, especially with you guys, because I'm homebrewing the world anyway, but even if I were running official settings, I don't care about that stuff. Like, I'll use, especially in an official world, I'll use lore that's written, because why not? But, like, as far as character types appearing in places, if you really want to play something, I'm like, for you with the drow, I wouldn't, unless you have a real good explanation, I wouldn't suggest playing a drow in an official world most times, especially the realms, given the official lore that's established. But I wouldn't stop you from it. We just have to figure out, that might be a case where maybe I'd allow your backstory to have a little more borderline already been an adventurer type level backstory, because it would help explain why you're in a society and they haven't kicked you out or killed you, because you've kind of done a few small adventures and proven yourself to be trustworthy and loyal type thing.
They accepted you.
But within reason, especially in my home, in any world I ever build myself, that's one of the reasons why 99% of the races, even if they're considered more rare in my world, you're not looked down on for being one of them, because I want people to feel like they can play whatever they want.
Right, like you're only limited by your DM and a good backstory.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because I always liked that. Like when EverQuest 2 came out, I wanted to be what's it called? A Dark Elf Druid, because that's something that wasn't possible in the first game.
Oh,
and they
yeah.
had a lot. What was cool is they had to do a lot of, they could, but they had to renounce their god in the game and do a lot of extra work. So you had high respect of, wow, this player literally did the most cheatiest stuff so they could be a Dark Elf Druid. And
you had to work.
Stuff like that. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff.
You got to work for it.
I mean, in real life, technically, there's nothing stopping you from being said profession, right? But
yeah, there's just things that make it harder, depending on where you came from.
Yeah, it's very much similar in that respect. Yeah, it's like in an established world, at least with me as a DM, because that's the other thing. I don't have time. I don't expect you, if we play in the Forgotten Realms, to remember every piece of lore from. I don't expect you to remember the 2.5 pages I've managed to come up with for lore for here, let alone the hundreds of pages of lore for that. I certainly don't remember it. In our server, the other admin besides me is very, he's got a bit of the tism, and it manifests for him a lot in like really focusing on stuff a lot. So, and he's a bit of a reader anyway. So like he probably could fire off a good chunk of the lore just from memory at this point. So he'll constantly correct little things that I get wrong when he hears or sees me say them in lore. And I don't get mad at him for it. I correct it, but I'm just like, that's on you, bro, because I don't have that brain power. That's 50 years of writings. Real world 50 years. I ain't got the patience for that. So it's like
50 years anniversary, is it? Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, the first D&D books were released in 1974, I believe.
Oh yeah, Guy
73 or 74.
Gary Gygax.
And who knew it was going to become so big? Because you guys are lucky now. When I was growing up, if you even said D&D, you were like nerd, a loser.
Oh,
Now it's
no,
like people
yeah.
love it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. I don't know. I don't remember how old you are, Malphus, but if you go back to the very beginning of D&D, or just past the very beginning, like early '80s, like probably second edition, not even second edition, but like reissue of first edition. Not only were you looked at in like tabletop communities as an extra big nerd for playing TTRPGs, especially D&D, but in the general public, you were looked at as a Satanist.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The Mothers Against D&D bullshit.
Oh yeah, I remember reading something about that.
The Satanic Panic, as they called it.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? Just like
Yes.
The
Yes, I
nerd,
absolutely
the
believe
nerdiest
that.
shit, and they're like, they're worshiping Satan.
Well, just like,
Like,
where none of us were born back when Elvis was first starting out, but yeah, he was considered devil music too. We're like, oh, he's devil.
Oh yeah, rock and roll was the devil's
Yeah, it was
music.
the devil's music. So,
and that fool was bald.
It made you dance in a way that moved your hips.
Yeah. So yeah, Elvis.
Oh yeah, yep.
Satan
Kevin Bacon in that town that wouldn't allow dancing.
Was there a movie with that?
There's a whole movie. Yep, Footloose.
Oh,
Footloose, kick off your Sunday shoes.
I'm pretty sure that movie is one of the most famous movies of all time.
Mm-hmm. You don't hear it described that way.
You don't remember that the star of Footloose was Kevin Bacon?
The Bacon Brothers apparently is like a whole band. Like him and his brother do a whole bunch of songs, and a lot of them are goofy, but they're so much fun.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. My husband like introduced me.
But yeah, Paul, you've seen it throughout your own lifetime that how D&D has become a lot more socially accepted now.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, there's a number of reasons for it, but the biggest reason that that's the case is why I will also the fact that when I get a chance to sit down and watch it, it's an entertaining show beyond just being a D&D show. I will never hear anyone shit on Critical Role in my presence, because without Critical Role, 80% of the people who play D&D now wouldn't know D&D existed.
That's a good point. Just because they do it differently than someone doesn't mean it's bad.
I will agree that even though it's not the people who make Critical Role's fault at all, unfortunately that some people, if that's their only way of knowing about D&D, get unrealistic expectations about how D&D works.
Oh, yeah.
But they wouldn't even care to find out how it works without stuff like that. So that's absolutely a positive.
Mm-hmm.
I would take... Baldur's Gate 3 is definitely also increasing that now, too.
Yeah, I was going to say the Baldur's Gate, especially 3 is really kind of skyrocketed.
Very nice. Yeah, man, these games just keep getting better and better.
I wonder if Baldur's Gate 3 is considered canon. I think it is.
Well, given that it's certainly set in the main canon universe, I can tell you that, because I know it's set because Baldur's Gate is on the Sword Coast.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, if you take when I keep saying Forgotten Realms, that's like a region of the map of the main world of D&D. It's the most famous region of it, but it's just a region of that planet. The most famous part of that region is the Sword Coast, and Baldur's Gate is one of the 3 major cities in it.
Oh, okay.
So it's like the second or third most famous city in Dungeons and Dragons, basically, for simplicity.
Oh, okay. What's the other famous ones?
Neverwinter, which there is MMORPG called that. That's like free to play with premium options. And the most famous one by far is Waterdeep.
Waterdeep, I have a digital board game based on that. It's really fun.
Basically, the reason that game exists, well, I mean, it exists because someone made it, but like the concept of the Lords of Waterdeep is because there are a bunch of what they call hidden lords who very few people outside of the other Hidden Lords know who the Hidden Lords of Waterdeep are at any given time. And essentially, you don't think of it when you're playing the board game, but combining having played D&D regularly and that game, basically all the little tokens you're sending on those adventures are you guys.
Oh, very cool.
Well, like
Yeah,
when
I
you
love
grab
that game.
fighter,
I
when you
meant-
grab like warriors and you grab some wizards and stuff, all those little like squares, if they were fleshed out into paper characters, would be you guys basically.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, it's a great board game. I like it.
I love that game. I love worker placement games.
Yep. I know some people don't like worker placement games, but I do. I think they're really
Dude,
good.
I even
Kyle's
I
really
even
good.
love the worker placement games that other people think that other worker placement fans think are boring. Like I love viticulture. It's about making fucking wine. But I don't care. It's a worker placement board game, so I enjoy it.
Yeah, you like what you
I
like.
don't care what each set of rules and stuff is different, but like in terms of the general genre, I don't really care what skin you put over the board as long as I get to do worker placement stuff. Because I just really like them.
Hey, you know what you like.
Gloomhaven's a really popular, really good board game.
So-
Some of these board games are very complex too, which is interesting.
Worker placement. I don't know if I've played one like that. Or I'm not sure what that is. What's
So
considered
worker
that.
placement is basically, let's say we were playing Lords of Waterdeep that we were talking about. Each of us would have, depending on how many players are in the game, so many. Do you know what a meeple is?
Meeple?
It's the
No.
term for like person-shaped pieces on a board game. It was created a few years back.
Ah.